What's up, guys? It's Dan122 back again, bringing you another battle. And I don't know what I was doing the other day, but for some reason I just thought to myself, I need to use Sword Stance Tentacruel. I don't know what reminded me of it. It was kind of a thing back in 4th gen. It was kind of in the other options set of Smogon. I think I saw someone use it once. But I was just aware that Sword Stance Tentacle was a possible thing, and somehow or another I was reminded of it, and I'm like, alright, let's do it. Let's get one. Because I'm way too cool to use the typical special defensive Scald one. So I bred one of those, and I immediately went out looking for battles with it. And this is the first one I got. As for the rest of my team preview, I've got my typical defensive core there of Umbreon, Donphan, and Skarmory. I'm just a big fan of Donphan because of how cute Fampy is. If you didn't fall in love with Fampy the first time you saw it in 2nd gen, then you're kidding yourself. But other than that, I've got Typhlosion and OU some more because Typhlosion's my main homeboy, and I bring him to all my battles that I can qualify him for. And to round it off, we were bringing Alakazam because I had a Kadabra sitting around for a while, and I finally got someone to trade it with so I could evolve it. I'm like, alright, let's try it, because Magic Guard is a cool ability. And Alakazam actually brings some speed and actual OU potential that my teams usually lack. So I thought, why not use one of those bad boys? And so let's start the battle and see how it goes. I don't have Ariados with me this time, so I can't really lead off with that, but I can lead off with Skarmory, try and get some Stealth Rock set up. Oh yeah, I saw his Mamoswine was probably going to lead, and Mamoswine really kind of runs through most of my team. Luckily, Skarmory's got the defense and is immune to Earthquake, so I can lead with that, but I can't really stop him from getting Stealth Rocks up. Maybe he thought I would carry Taunt, even though he should be faster than me anyway. But I just take this opportunity to set my rocks up because I didn't see much of a spinner. And the fact that he goes straight to Salamence just screams Fire Blast. So luckily, Umbreon can come in and not only take special hits easily, but then Foul Play should do a good chunk because, yeah, look how much Fire Blast does to Umbreon. After leftovers, it's 20 out of 200. So literally 10%. So I'm just kind of sitting here laughing with Umbreon because Umbreon's a beast. And what I was saying before is the Foul Play should do a good chunk because Salamence has high attack. And as you can see by the fact that he has Dragon Claw, he's not a purely special Salamence, because who even does that? Now he's going to switch Salamence out. It was a little surprising to me because Stealth Rocks are up, although I don't remember if he has a way to get rid of them. He does have a Scizor. Scizor gets to Fog, but I don't know if he's running it, because that's kind of a weird thing to run on Scizor. Most people prefer pure offensive Scizor. As I just go for a Wish, so I can either keep it for Umbreon if I need to keep my health up, or I can switch into something, take the hit, and then get my health back up to full, like Typhlosion, because Typhlosion can resist Bullet Punch if he goes for that. But he does show me the Defog there, which is why he switched the Salamence out. So I kind of waste the Wish, but the idea is the same. I get a full health Typhlosion switch for free, and now I just click Eruption because Eruption kills so many things. Unfortunately for me though, Greninja resists it, which is the only reason it doesn't 1-hit KO it right here, because look at how much that does, even with the resistance. But he's gonna be faster than me, so I have to switch. And I don't really want to switch, what's it called? I don't want to switch Umbreon into a U-turn in case he wanted to go for that. But he goes for Scald, which is a big scare because I'm a physical Tentacruel, like I said. But luckily he doesn't get it, and so he doesn't know that I'm a physical Tentacruel, so he doesn't go for another one. So he takes this opportunity to set up some Toxic Spikes because my Poison type is in, so I can't switch in the Poison type to get the spikes away. So even though I have a Rapid Spinner, something's going to have to be poisoned as soon as Tentacruel switches out. So now he goes for the U-turn, showing me he does have it. And he's going to U-turn on up out of there. And unfortunately, I don't have any Stealth Rocks up anymore, so he's not going to be taking damage when he comes back in, unless I can put him back up some other point because Skarmory's still around. But he can't really do anything to Tentacruel, so I'm sitting here with my +2 attack. I just go for a Waterfall because he's not Water type anymore, and I figured to do a good chunk to anything. And it does well over half to the Scizor, who I'm easily going to be able to outspeed because Tentacruel has base 100 speed, and people don't invest in speed that often, but obviously I'm offensive, so I get to make full use of how fast Tentacruel actually is. So I'm going to outspeed him and go for the Waterfall. Another cool thing about offensive Tentacruel is it resists pretty much every form of priority that isn't normal, like quick attack and extreme speed. So he's going to go back into this guy, which is unfortunate because he's going to have a focus sash because he's a lead. But I decided to just go for Waterfall, hope they'll flinch, because, yep, there's the focus sash. Because I can't go for Scald Burns, I can go for Waterfall flinches, and it turns out I get it, which is great because now I'm still going to be able to outspeed him because I'm still base 100 speed, and Mamoswine's still not. And he's going to take another Waterfall to the face, and Tentacruel is actually doing work in the first battle I brought it, which is so good. I was so pumped for Swords Dance Tentacruel. I don't remember why I thought of it, because I haven't seen anyone use it in 6th gen. But cool thing here about Tentacruel, Clear Body, so Intimidate can get out of here. He's not Scarf because he switched moves, so we're both base 100 speed, so I just decided to risk the speed tie, and boom, Tentacruel has now killed 3 of his things. I still got my whole team left, and unfortunately that's going to cause me to get a little bit arrogant. I'm too caught up in the greatness that is Swords Dance Tentacruel. And so I'm going to make a little bit of a bad series of plays here. I'm obviously just going to stay in here, not waste my Swords Dance, and continue to put as big of a hole as I can in his team. I figured I was going to die during Earthquake, but he actually goes Mega, which I'm pretty sure is going to give him more defenses, so he's going to be able to easily live my Waterfall. And he's not going to get flinched, which is a bummer, because if he was, I could have swept him with Tentacruel. And so he's going to go for the Dragon Dance. And now here, since he didn't kill me, I could have switched out to Skarmory, easily taken a hit. I mean, done nothing from the Earthquake because Skarmory's flying. And then dealt with this thing appropriately, and all would have been fine. But I decided to just go ahead and stand and see if maybe Tentacruel is still faster, because Tyranitar's pretty slow. But fun fact, Mega Tyranitar gets 10 more base speed, and regular Tyranitar can outspeed me after Dragon Dance anyway, so that was just dumb. I was more afraid, I figured I had the battle mostly won at that point, so I didn't want to switch Skarmory into an attack. I didn't know how strong +1 Mega Tyranitar was if it'd be able to 2-hit KO me, because I didn't want to like waste my answer to this to just try and save Tentacruel for no reason. But it turns out he goes for a Crunch and gets the defense drop, which is a real bummer because now I can't stay in. I set up the Stealth Rocks just to kind of weaken his team, but that turned out to be the wrong play. I should have just Whirlwinded there, because now something else is going to have to come in and die, because I don't have enough health to live a hit anymore. So Donphan's going to come in because I've got some good physical defense, but he gets a crit. So this Tyranitar is just ruining my life. After all that work Swords Dance Tentacruel put in, this Mega Tyranitar is just stomping me. Which I haven't seen Dragon Dance Tyranitar in a while, but obviously that's more common on Mega Tyranitars than it is on regular Tyranitars. So I just go for Ice Shard because I don't have really much other option. That crit didn't matter too much because he still would have 2-hit KO'd me. I just have even less health than before. The Sandstorm runs away, which isn't going to be that big of a deal. But now I can go back into Skarmory, easily live a Crunch, unless he gets a crit, at which point I'm screwed. And then Whirlwind him out and get rid of this freaking speed boost, because that's the only thing that's making him threatening to the rest of my team. So I go ahead and do that, and I Whirlwind him into the Greninja, which means he's going to take some Stealth Rocks damage. Which, as you'll see, is going to come into a little bit of play later. But unfortunately for me, the Greninja can easily just finish me off, and that 26 HP is not worth saving Skarmory. So, an Ice Beam's going to be coming our way, and that's going to be the end of Skarmory. And so now I've lost Skarmory, I lost Tentacruel, and I lost Donphan. So we're back to 3-on-3 after my hot start. So I'm going to go into Umbreon now, because that's my only real way to fight this Greninja, and he's just going to U-turn out, which I knew he would, but I figured it wouldn't be able to kill Umbreon because Umbreon's got lots of defenses. obviously it's more especially defensive in my case, but you know, whatnot. And I forgot what his last guy was, and it turns out it's the Sylveon, which is going to be all sorts of bad news, because it's gonna easily be able to take on Umbreon. He's got the type advantage evolution thing going on here. And even worse, nothing I have left can really handle it. So if I'd saved Tentacruel can easily defeat this fairy type. It can easily defeat the Greninja at the health it's at, and it can easily finish off that Tyranitar at the health it's at. But unfortunately, because I sacrificed my Tentacruel to an Earthquake that Skarmory could have dodged, and then Whirlwinded, and then saved all of this trouble, I'm staring down the face of an unkillable Sylveon. So he's going to set up a Calm Mind on me as I just wish to see if I'm faster and whatnot. And I do have Encore on my what's it called? My Psychic Alakazam. And I didn't want to just switch directly into Alakazam in case he attacked, because my only chance at defeating that Greninja is Alakazam's Focus Sash, because it's gonna outspeed and kill everything else. It's unfortunately the one time I actually bring a fast Pokemon, and it's still not fast enough to outspeed his Greninja by 2 base speed points. So I do manage to switch in on the Calm Mind, and I try to Encore him, but he protects, which is gonna be a freaking huge problem. It won't stop him from being Encored, but it's gonna Encore him into Protect instead of Calm Mind, which is going to be a problem because he can protect away my Size Shocks and get leftovers and whatnot. And as opposed to Calm Mind would be useless, because since I do have Size Shock, the fact that he's boosting his special defense isn't going to stop me from hitting him as hard as I would normally on his weaker physical defense. But because Encore only lasts like 3 turns, I got like the turn I Encore him, which makes him fail. Then the next turn he can succeed, and then the next turn after that I get 1 attack in before I have to Encore him again. And in the meantime he's getting leftovers this whole time. So it's really just kind of a losing battle in here, but I don't have any other option. Because Umbreon's poisoned and at really low health. I could try and like switch out and wish and switch back and whatnot, but that's really not going to work too well. So I'm just sitting in here, excuse me, I'm just kind of trying to encourage him to switch maybe. I don't know, I don't really have much to do against this thing. Luckily the Toxic Spikes don't affect me because I have Magic Guard, but other than that, this is just a really long stall part that I don't have much to say about, but we've got through a lot of it already. So I finally get to a turn where I can hit him with the Size Shock and he's not protecting, and I'm kind of disappointed by how much that does. It's looking like a 3-hit KO, and as you can see, it took me like 5 turns before I even got 1 hit in, and then his Encore ends again. And at this point, I'm starting to first of all, I only have 1 Encore left, because I don't have it fully PP'd up, because I wasn't sure if I was going to actually keep Encore, if I was going to teach it another attack. I bred it using an Aber from some Japanese guy, and it already had Encore on it. So obviously, since the one I started with had Encore, it just propagated throughout all the other ones. I thought, you know, maybe that'd be cool. So I just decided to let Umbreon die because it's not enough health. And then maybe if I can get a critical hit Eruption, it will be able to do enough to kill it. And then I can take... I feel like if I can kill the Sylveon, then I can easily outspeed Tyranitar and kill it. And then I can use the Focus Sash to kill Greninja. That's my plan at this point. Unfortunately, the Eruption is not going to get a critical hit. So he's just going to Wish on me, which allows me to get another Eruption off at pretty high power. And it's going to get another not critical hit, as he goes for a Moonblast at like +2 special attack. Which luckily I resist, so I... oh, he gets another crit, so that's the second crit followed by the... or that followed the defense drop earlier. That's kind of really turned this match against me. But luckily I do have enough to live the poison, so now I can switch over to Blaze Flamethrower and still hope for a crit, and even hope for a burn, but I'm gonna get neither of those, of course. But luckily, instead of killing me, he goes for another Calm Mind, which normally is the smart thing to do, because you get another Calm Mind. But it's gonna, unfortunately for him, mean I can come in and encore him with the Alakazam, because I'm pretty sure he's out of Protects. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Is I wasn't really counting, and I didn't know if he had used PP up or not, but if you try and encore them into a move that's out of PP, it won't work. That's why I switched out. I didn't want to be get hit by a Moonblast on a turn where Encore failed and break my Focus Sash. So luckily, he doesn't protect here, which makes me think that I did randomly guess the amount of PP he had for protect correctly. And so I managed to encore him into Calm Mind, which is great because, as you saw before, Psystrike, or not Psystrike, that's Mewtwo's one, Psyshock is 3-hit KO, and that's just enough turns for me to finish this guy off. So I'm thinking I have a pretty good chance here. I can outspeed the Tyranitar and kill it with Dazzling Gleam from that health. And actually, the Tyranitar should probably die from Stealth Rocks at this point. And then that leaves me with a Focus Sash, so I can live Greninja's hit and finish it off. And that should hopefully be the game in my favor, is what I thought once I managed to hit this with another Psyshock. He doesn't break out, and looking at, he's at red health now, and I should easily be able to kill him after this next one. Although I was a little worried after the leftovers gets him back up, because it really isn't doing that much. And if I don't kill him, then obviously I'm totally screwed. But luckily, yeah, his Encore ends, but I still outspeed him. I can still finish him off, even though he's at like plus 5 billion special defense. So I managed to avoid the unkillable Sylveon. I thought I had a chance. He goes into this thing to outspeed me. I've got the Focus Sash. I'm like, please don't flinch me with Dark Pulse. And that's when I realized he doesn't have to go for Dark Pulse, because he showed the U-turn earlier. And so he can U-turn out on me, go into, obviously make me go down to my Sash, go into Tyranitar, and then come back in and finish me off. I was really hoping the Stealth Rocks would do enough, but I could tell when he sent him out, he had easily enough for 2 Stealth Rock switch-ins. Tyranitar comes out, and it actually dies to the Stealth Rocks. So I'm like, oh, Stealth Rocks, did that much to Tyranitar. Hopefully he can do enough to Greninja, as I had Dazzling Gleam nothing, trying to finish off the Frog, and just hoping he wasn't going to do what he obviously does do. But as you can see, he just barely lives the Stealth Rock switch-in, and so he's able to go for his 2 more speed points than me and finish me off with the U-turn. So my glorious reign of Swords Dance Tentacruel comes to an unglorious end, but here's proof that I do actually upload losses. I just legitimately actually win like almost all of my good battles. I've had like 25 battles in 6J, now I'm like 20-5, if I would guess. And like I've said before, most of the battles I lose are just horrible beatdowns as a result of the lack of high-tier Pokemon I generally tend to bring with me. I just don't think those are fun to narrate or upload, so I don't bother, which is why a lot of my uploads are wins. But this one was obviously really close, and I lost, so I thought I'd bring it to you. If you like this kind of battles with Typhlosion and Donphan and Umbreon and Skarmory, they're going to be everywhere on my channel, so feel free to check those out, and maybe click subscribe if you're so inclined. If not, have a nice day, and this has been Dynamo22. Bye.